Hi, welcome to Radnor Studio 21's Commissioner's Corner. I'm Haley Erdlen, a proud resident of Ward 4 in Radnor Township. Radnor Studio 21 has recruited real ward residents like myself living in each of Radnor Township's 7 wards to carry on important conversations with the township decision makers who are voted into the position of managing our township. I'm here today to ask and work with our Ward 4 Commissioner, Lisa Borowski, and also our President of the Radnor Board of Commissioners. We are here today to talk about what's happening not only in Ward 4, but also in Radnor Township. Welcome, Lisa.
Morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you. The sun is finally shining.
I know. It's nice, right? Oh my gosh. It's getting depressing there.
It was. I was like, I don't think I can live in Seattle.
I know. Yeah. No, never. And I had to I didn't know where my sunglasses were this morning. I'm like, where are they?
Where are your sunglasses?
I wore them in so long.
Thank you for joining me.
We
have some really exciting things to talk about. And just quickly, I know I'm impacted by it, but I live right by Villanova, and this weekend it is the Villanova graduation as well as Cabrini. So for us Ward 4 residents, just note the traffic and the crowds.
Yes. Yeah. It'll be a lot of happy families and parents and friends all, celebrating. So, yeah, it will be, our town fills up for a brief amount of time. I think I said in my newsletter, if you want a reservation in Wayne, you better get it, book it now. Because, definitely restaurants fill up and the town, which is good, it's good. It brings revenue,
awesome.
Shows off our town and our community. So, yeah, it'll, short-term pain, long-term gain, I don't know.
I agree.
But congratulations to all the grads.
Exactly.
For sure.
Congrats. And then moving along, I think we should start with your capital project list and kind of talk about that and what's happening there.
Okay. So as you know, and we've talked about before, the board embarked on a series of meetings, financial meetings, so the committee of the whole, which is the board, where we're doing nothing but talking about the finances. I know I felt when, for my first time going through the budget, they bring us the budget in October, we have to vote on it in December.
Right.
There's not a lot of time to have, good in-depth conversations.
Really a small October to December.
It is,
right?
And if there's something that you're tripped up on, like why are we spending this money here, or why aren't we spending money here? You don't have a lot of time to adjust and make changes or to even understand. So we started in January. Every month we do something different, a different topic. Some of the topics roll over, into a couple months.
Right.
We started in April talking about the capital budget. So we have a 5-year capital budget that has not been funded.
Wow.
And capital is anywhere from sidewalks to Radnor Road projects, not PennDOT, road projects. Bridges that are responsible for Radnor, which we don't have very many. Most of them are state or, owned by the transportation or, it could be, projects like, so we've got trails, tree planting, enhancements to the Wayne Business District. So new roofs for township-owned buildings. So, there's a lengthy list.
Yeah.
The list is up over 27 million.
Wow.
And some of those projects have been around for a really long time. So what we did is we met first and we decided to try to prioritize. So we have some projects that are partnerships, either with other entities, like we have a traffic improvement project that we are doing with Cabrini and Eastern. We have grants for that. They're going to be participating in it financially.
In the funding, right.
And so will the township. So what kind of projects do we have like that? There are other projects that we have grant money for that we're in danger of losing. That if we don't complete the project within a certain amount of time.
You'll lose that money. Right.
Then what else is next? To me, safety. Issues around safety in the township are, I think,
Sidewalks.
top of the list. Sidewalks, things like that.
Signals.
So, not looking at things that people still want, because, we have our friends, in our own Ward 4 friends who are looking to put a sidewalk on South Ithan, and have met with them and talked with them. There is a lengthy list of things that have already been approved. Most of these are already board approved, either by the board that I'm currently sitting on, prior boards.
So what's the next step if they're board approved? Then where do these projects?
So the next step is to find the funding,
which is here.
Yeah, and I would like to get to a point, I think, and this is certainly down the road, where we aren't approving projects that we don't already have the funding for. We haven't identified funding. Sometimes we need to approve the project to go and find funding for it.
Right.
But I'd like to be able to get to a point where we are, approving projects that, we can fund. It would be great if we got additional funding for them, unless they're like huge and we can't do them on our own. But, to stop this kind of let's approve and then
it kind of the holding pattern. It's just kind of stuff.
Exactly. And people think that it's approved and it's coming, but that's really not the case.
Right.
So we have gone back, and based on that criteria, some of the criteria that I just mentioned, a list was put together by our staff, and we vetted this list at our meeting, most recent meeting that we had the other night. And there are projects here. The total's about $6.8 million, a little over 6.8 right now. These are estimates. So, once we get started, we'll have better numbers. Yeah.
Right.
And we're talking about going out, seeking a bond in order to fund these projects.
Great.
A bond for about maybe 7.5 million.
Okay.
We're going to have options in front of us at our June meeting from our staff, from our bond council. What can we do? A 20-year bond, 30-year bond.
Right.
We are retiring some bonds. So the nice thing about this is we can do this, and it won't mean any new taxes for anyone. And we'll also, because right now, depending on what we go out for, we might gain a little bit of savings that we can put into our general fund. So, I think this could be, a win-win for the township.
That's great.
And many of the wards, a lot of these projects, some of them are ward specific, but most of them, I believe, impact the township, everyone, as a whole. Right. And I think it's important that we look at it that way.
Well, and for our residents who I think have brought these issues and projects that they want to be resolved, and I think as a resident myself, you just don't know what the timeline is really like, because we make the request, but then you're the one who actually makes it happen. So to be able to prioritize and focus on this and let our residents know this is important is huge for me. It's huge. I mean, I'm already like, ooh, that's a good one. So,
well, the trails, we got some trail projects on here. We have, again, some safety issues, some safety projects, something that will help the Radnor Fire Company with their response rate to calls and things like that, which we all certainly care about.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think it's a good list. I look forward to it hopefully not being as much as what is on here, but, like I said, it's something we can do, and it won't negatively impact people when it comes to their taxes at this moment.
Right.
So.
Because you're able to either get grants or do, collaborations with other entities such as Cabrini and other people who can help with the funding, right?
Yeah, for a lot of the projects. And then the bond itself, because we had a bond already that we are finishing up the payments on that. If we go out for another bond, it's not like we have to say, oh, now you have to start paying more to pay for this bond. You were already paying for a bond.
You're already paying, so you're just swapping.
Exactly. Yep,
Great.
swapping.
And it looks like projects to be possibly completed by 2020. So we'll see. Stay tuned. And we'll talk more about it, because this is an ongoing, I don't want to say issue, because it's a good, positive thing. So we can talk about it in our next Commissioner's Corner.
Yeah, I think anytime we invest back into the township, it's a good thing.
Absolutely. So what else is happening? Let's see. In our own Ward 4, there's kind of been some new updates with the Earls Lake, the dam breach, affecting those residents. Can you talk more about what is the latest?
Sure. So the latest on that is, I think maybe last time we were here, we talked about the Green Country Village, which owns the dam, and they're actually in Newtown Township. They had submitted an application to the Department of Environmental Protection to breach the dam. We looked at it. Our engineer, Steve Norsini, looked at it, and he's like, this is severely lacking. There are a lot of questions that we have as Radnor, how it impacts our residents. There were a lot of things that were incomplete. I think the Department of Environmental Protection agreed, and the application was ruled incomplete. So there's no application basically.
Right.
So we have some more time.
Okay.
We met as a group. There's a lot of interested residents on the Radnor and Newtown side, and our staff held a meeting. We met with Steve Norsini and Bob Zinkowski, our engineering firm that's been looking at this issue last week, and identified a few things that we can do moving forward. So with things that have already been done, we've sent a letter to engage the Army Corps of Engineer in this project.
Okay.
We've sent a letter to Newtown Township to inform them that, they have this bad dam, and part of the problem is that it has not been maintained.
Right.
And that is on Newtown Township.
Right.
They should have been reviewing this, looking at this, paying attention, and that is on them. So we have sent them a letter as well.
Okay.
And I'm looking right now to get together a meeting, sort of a little mini town hall. We've had a lot of help from
the residents are fantastic.
Yeah, the residents are.
They're on it.
And they've been on it for a number of years. I mean, this didn't just come up yesterday. So, they've been on it, but we're going to meet with, so we had a lot of help from State Representative O'Mara's office and State Senator Dalen Leach. I'm going to be setting a meeting for the residents with Representative O'Mara's office. Great. We're kind of looking at right now, tentatively June 6th for that to happen. So that she can hear the concerns, because right now she and certainly Senator Leach are going to be our strongest advocates when it comes to the Department of Environmental Protection, because it is a state-owned, it'll be a state issue. Okay. So that's where we stand right now.
That's great.
So hopefully, moving forward in a positive.
We'll see what Newtown Township comes back with, and then if their application gets refiled, and
then we'll have something concrete to deal with. Right now, we don't have anything concrete to deal with.
Right. Okay, well, that's interesting. And then it's May, and I know for myself with my own children, baseball and t-ball and softball is in full swing, and the Radnor Ward Little League. That's happening at Enki Park. I know the board just voted to take down more trees at Enki Park based on what happened. We talked about it the last time when the tree fell. Luckily, no children were there on the little house. So what's happening there? I love Enki Park. It's one of my favorites.
I know,
in
it's
the township.
So nice. I wish, they've done such a good job over there, and they made it so nice, and for everyone, it's really, it's a gem. Yeah, it's a great gem. Yeah. It's great. We're so lucky. We're so fortunate to have so many great parks. But the area that's right near the creek, so the creek runs kind of down between the township building and the fields.
Yeah, like on that side right there. Yep.
We had our arborist take a look over there at the trees to make sure, we've got that beautiful playground we just put in over there. I feel strongly that you can't invite people to a park and then not be concerned about the safety
trees,
of the area. Yep. I believe that's our responsibility. Freak things will happen, certainly, but as much as we can be proactive, it's important. So there were trees identified. I think there are about 13 trees over there that were identified.
There's a lot of trees right there.
Yeah, there are a lot of trees over there. But certainly, we don't want to lose any trees. But, as I think we've heard the Conservancy talk about, Radnor has not invested in a comprehensive tree maintenance program in ever, I think, or maybe not for a very long time. So, we do have trees that do need to come down. And even those people who are the biggest advocates for trees will say sometimes, they get to a point where they're just not, they bring on their useful life. Right. So our arborist, who is very much, he's very focused on pro-tree and preservation and identified trees. And I have a lot of trust in John Hosbeck, our arborist, and our staff when they bring these forward. So we voted to take down those trees. I believe that it is, if it is a safety issue, it's our responsibility to respond. But the nice thing is Cabrini College they're doing, I guess, a big tree planting on their campus. They had an overabundance of trees, apparently, that they ordered. Oh. They gifted about, I think it's 81 or 88 trees, I forget exactly, to the township, which Bob Zankowski, said, yes, we'll take them. And now what we'll be doing is replacing the trees.
That's great.
So the ones we also took down over by the concession stand, we'll replace those, and we'll be replacing the ones that we're taking down with these trees.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so,
So get rid of the old and bring in the new. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're not clear cutting. We're not, just trying to destroy wooded areas, because that's part of the beauty of our township. But so that's
well, and it's that playground already being a newer playground, it doesn't have really the lot of shade, and I think parents were already kind of used to it not being a shaded playground. So it's nice to know the trees are going to go. They'll replace new trees, but it's also not really affecting the playground as a whole. But
so it'll be there by the playground and then further down
the
creek too.
Yeah.
So
Great. Okay. What else is happening? We've got some road repaving happening well, throughout the township. I feel like every week, every Monday, I'm like, where is there going to be a detour? But I mean, there's been some good things happening for sure. So you can talk about the Lancaster Avenue repaving project.
Yeah, so the township itself is, we've embarked on our super pave program for the township, and they've been finishing up some streets that weren't paved last year. So I know in our ward, Colony Road was repaved, Mount Parnasse was repaved. I think this year in the super pave program, we have Milmar Road is set to be repaved. There's like 2 others, and I forget what they are off the top of my head right now, but. Yeah, so the township is doing repaving, but then the Lancaster is a PennDOT project.
Right.
I know our staff sat down and met with PennDOT to review the plans of what that's going to look like. Our township manager, he's always working to make sure that everything that comes, work that's done here is quality. I don't know if anyone remembers, he fought hard for a repaving of Conestoga Road once it had been repaved.
Yes, because it wasn't paved well. They did not do a great job.
They did not do a good job, and we are fortunate. Bob is,
he's great.
He has a very high bar, so we are fortunate with that. And Steve Norsini, our engineer, and Steve McNellis, who runs our public works department.
Love Steve. Oh gosh. He's amazing.
They're great. So, they sat down with PennDOT, and I guess the plan that PennDOT brought forward to them, they were not thrilled with.
Okay.
So we actually, as a board, authorized the other evening for them to send a letter, the township to send a letter to PennDOT, outlining some of the concerns they have with the plan that they've brought forward. Our hope is that PennDOT will look to revise their plan and make it better.
Make it better, sure.
Certainly no guarantees. And, there's kind of a part of me that's like, if they're coming to repave, we don't want to make them mad and have them go away. But so we'll see how that progresses.
Okay.
And, certainly PennDOT will have the option to say, Radnor, sorry, this is what we're doing.
Sure.
But, hopefully there can be some sort of maybe meet in the middle.
Sure.
We'll see.
Well, as we wrap up, really quickly, we can talk about I think this is interesting. I just want to bring it up fast, is the resident the fluoride in our water. As you know, we don't have fluoride in our water, and there's a possibility of someone wanting to do that. So you did a nice little survey.
I did. Well, so I have had some residents bring that forward to me around a concern that we don't have fluoridated water. Apparently in Pennsylvania, it's kind of by municipality. It can even be by street. Some streets may have it. It depends on where your water comes from. If you have your own local treatment plant, whatever. So we get our water from Aqua. They do not fluoridate their water. If it is something that, I was just looking to see if people were interested. Having one resident interested, I'm glad to put the word out there and see what we can do. But it will be more, if people are really interested in this and pursuing it, I'll need people. I'll need a mass to try to, move this forward if we want to try to do that. So
I participated in the survey, so I'll be interested to see what the results are. And then I hope to see you at the Memorial Day Parade on Monday, May 27th.
Yep. I think it kicks off at 9:45, I think. Down Lancaster, all the way through Wayne.
I've walked in the past with the Conservancy, and I'm not sure. I think my daughter dressed up one year as like a peacock or something fun.
Does she want to come walk with me? Anyone who wants to come walk with me, you can come walk with me. It's kind of like
it is. You're like, hi. But everyone's always excited to see our lovely commissioners. I know.
Thank you.
And then one of my favorite events, and I feel like it gets better every year, is the Wayne Music Festival happening on June 8th.
Absolutely.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Kenny Kearns, who owns the 118, he's one of the owners of 118 North.
So much fun having that. Yeah.
Kenny and his wife, they do, in collaboration, it's also a fundraiser for CHOP. So they do a great job and bring in, what do we have? Bob Marley and the Wailers?
Bob Marley and the Wailers. I think... They've announced the lineup.
Yeah, I forget everybody who's on the lineup, but it's just great, and it's such a great day, and it's great for Wayne. Yeah, no rain, and it's it's great for the Wayne businesses and our restaurants, and it brings people to our town to say, hey,
it does.
check out Wayne and check out Radnor. We're a great place
and
to
the
be.
amount of work that our township guys put into building the stages and the setup, and it's huge. It's fantastic.
We are fortunate. And the police who do, all the road closures and, monitoring safety for the crowd. Yeah, our township, they do a great job. And we have some really wonderful events. We're really fortunate.
We are fortunate. So next time we do it, we can talk about all the great bands.
Absolutely.
But thank you, Lisa, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you're really busy, but we appreciate keeping not only the Ward 4 residents up to date on Radnor Township happenings, but all of the Radnor residents. And if you are a Ward 4 resident and you would like me to ask Lisa a question the next time we meet, which is should be sometime at the end of June, early July, you're welcome to send me an email. It's radnorward4@gmail.com. And let me know what you want me to ask. And thanks again, Lisa.
Thank you.
And until next time, this is Commissioner's Corner, Ward 4. I'm Haley Erdlen. Join us next time.